Welcome to Hemi, the hybrid network powered by both Bitcoin and Ethereum. Hemi has recently launched its mainnet and they have a confirmed token airdrop underway that will be coming within the next 2 to 6 weeks or even more. So, although this might not be the biggest airdrop we think we'll ever receive, it may be worth qualifying, and that's why we're here to provide you with a complete Hemi airdrop tutorial for beginners. Nonetheless, nothing in this video is financial advice. We are not financial advisors. Do not invest in anything you can't afford to lose. Use a burner wallet for extra security and always conduct your own research. Before we begin, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button to stay up to date with the latest crypto news, guides, reviews, technical analysis, and so much more. Friends, let's jump straight into the video. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, diving straight into the Hemi airdrop tutorial. We are currently on their website, which is hemi.xyz. We've also got their X page, which is at hemi_xyz. Give them a follow and turn on the notification bells to stay up to date with everything regarding their network and of course the upcoming confirmed airdrop. Now, as we can see here on their X page, guys, we've got the official mainnet which went live on the 12th of March. So it's only been out for almost a couple weeks now and therefore it's still very new. The airdrop should be coming very soon and you can find out all the information in this blog right here. Therefore, once you scroll down on this blog, you can see the Hemi team has worked to ensure the platform is valuable to everyone from day one. Here is everything you can do on the platform right now on mainnet day. So you can see all of the different categories of applications of which we can utilize. So scrolling down, Hemi bridges the gap between the distinct worlds of Bitcoin and Ethereum like no other network. For Bitcoin users, it provides new opportunities to utilize your Bitcoin effectively. For Ethereum users, Hemi delivers the scalability and performance expected from an L2, along with native access to Bitcoin security, data, and deep liquidity. This wouldn't be possible without the contributions of all day one participants in the Hemi ecosystem, those who share the vision of one network powered by Bitcoin and Ethereum. So down below, guys, you can take a look at all of the different ecosystem protocols of which we will go through shortly in this video once we provide you with a tutorial. However, this is very quickly just an insight as to what you can see on this blog. But rumor has it that the airdrop will be coming anytime from now to the next 2 to 6 weeks. We don't know exactly when the airdrop is coming. Who knows? It could be longer. It could be 2, 3, 4 months. But we do know it is coming very, very soon. And therefore, we want to utilize this network as much as possible in order to get the airdrop. So what we're going to do is, my friends, on the Hemi website, as you can see, if you want to go through all of the information as to what this network is, of course, you can check it out on their website. But once you are ready to get started with the airdrop, we are first going to launch the Hemi portal. And we can do this in the top right corner. And as you can see, we are now moving over to a different page. So once you are here, it tells you the mainnet is live, tunnel, stake, and more on mainnet using the new network switch. So we are ready to begin using the mainnet. Well, now, once you are here, you are going to need to use your EVM wallet, of which could be MetaMask, it could be Backpack, it could be any other EVM compatible wallet. So once you're ready, I'm going to pretty much use my MetaMask wallet. And as you can see, once we are here, we just need to add the Hemi network into our wallet. Very easy and simple, and that is the first stage. So what is the next stage? Well, obviously the next stage is to move assets over to the Hemi network. Because we haven't got any tokens on the Hemi network, we need to get ourselves some ETH tokens, which is the native gas token of the network. Why is this? Because it is a layer 2 network, an Ethereum layer 2 network, but as you know, it also utilizes some awesome features from the Bitcoin blockchain. But the only problem with using the native bridge on the Hemi network is that it's only compatible with both Ethereum and Bitcoin, and therefore you cannot use another layer 2 like Arbitrum, Optimism, Base, or such to move over assets like Ethereum over to the Hemi network. So if you are looking to avoid all the hefty fees from the Ethereum and Bitcoin networks, then of course you are going to have to use a third-party alternative. And we are going to provide you with 2 alternatives. Not only are these alternatives cheaper and faster to move ETH over to the Hemi network, but it's also going to help you qualify for another airdrop along the way. So as you can see over here, we've got the relay bridge, and the relay bridge is another protocol of which we've got an airdrop tutorial for on our YouTube channel, and we'll leave that in the description down below. But the relay protocol is very simply a cross-chain bridge of which enables us to move assets to and from a huge variety of networks. So as you can see, once you are here, all you need to do is use the same EVM wallet that you have. And first of all, it's going to prompt you on the Ethereum network, but I'm going to avoid this network and I'm going to use the base network to begin with. Next, I'm going to choose my ETH tokens on the base network, which as you can see, I've got 0.1 ETH. Next, down below is the network we want to send to. And of course, we are trying to qualify for the Hemi airdrop and we need to get ETH tokens to the Hemi network. So I'm going to very simply scroll down to where it's H's and we can see that we've got the Hemi network. Now, I'm just going to very simply bridge over an amount. Now guys, the more that you are able to bridge over to the Hemi network, of course, the better off you will be in terms of an airdrop. If you are able to bridge over $1,000, you will be better off than the user that is able to bridge over $10. Obviously, it's entirely up to you and however much you can afford and however much you want to use on the Hemi network. It's all dependent on you, and this is of course not financial advice. So whatever you're comfortable with, guys, I'm going to very simply trade over 0.01 ETH tokens to the Hemi network, and it's going to very simply take under 10 seconds. Once you're ready, you send off the transaction just like so, and as you can see, it is now moving over our ETH tokens from base to the Hemi network, completely avoiding the Ethereum mainnet, and therefore we are saving ourselves on fees and of course time. So absolutely fantastic. It took literally a few seconds to swap, and now as you can see down here, we've got a balance of 0.00999 ETH. Fantastic. This is the first option. The second option that we're going to provide you with is gas.zip. And we've also got another airdrop tutorial which you can check out on our YouTube channel. This is another fantastic one of which enables us to move assets to and from a wide range of networks. Now the great thing about this, guys, is that this is a gas refueling network and it's not exactly a bridge. And therefore, although it does work very similar to a bridge, it is not exactly a bridge essentially. But basically what you can do is you can very simply move assets to and from any different network, even if you don't have that gas token whatsoever. So for example, if I had AVAX in my wallet, I could shift those assets into ETH on the Hemi network. It could be SOL into Hemi, it's entirely up to you. But let's just use base once again as our example. And this time I'm going to shift over $10 worth of ETH over to the Hemi network, which I'm going to find on the left hand side. So once we find Hemi, just like so, next thing you know, we're going to very simply send $10 worth of ETH over to the Hemi network. This is going to be roughly 0.00507 ETH. Click confirm, just send off the transaction and you are good to go. That is exactly how to get ETH over to the Hemi network. We provided you with two alternatives to the mainnet bridge. But of course, guys, I personally think if you are able to use this bridge, then why not? Because this may help you with an airdrop allocation. That is not guaranteed, guys, but there may be a bigger multiplier for utilizing their official bridge. However, now that we're back on the Hemi portal, we can check our MetaMask wallet and confirm we're on the Hemi network, and we've got our estimated $30 worth of Ethereum. Fantastic. What to do now once we've bridged over to the Hemi network? Well, that's stage one. Stage two, my friends, is to check out stake. Now, once you are here, guys, as you can see, we've got stake and earn points. Therefore, you can see that we've got a total staked amount of roughly $120 million on the Hemi network. I've got 0 staked on this platform, but I've earned 210 Hemi points. So, what to do? Once you are ready, you just click stake. And as you can see here, we've got a huge range of strategies and a huge range of assets which we can stake. Now, the most important thing is, guys, is that we want to check out which points that we can earn the most from. Some of which will give you double points for the Hemi protocol, some of which will give you points for other protocols such as iGenPi and so on. But we want to focus on Hemi. However, of course, that will also depend on which assets that you want to supply. But the great thing is, my friends, that you can also obviously swap into specific tokens. So for example, if you wanted to supply and stake USDC.E to the official Circle protocol, which is obviously the main distributor of the USDC token, you can see here that we'll earn double points on Hemi. That is exactly what I want to do. So I'm going to very simply head over to the swap section on the left hand side, and it's going to take us over to SushiSwap. SushiSwap is a leading decentralized exchange on various networks, as you probably already know. We will be providing a full tutorial on SushiSwap in the future, but for now, what we're going to do is we're very simply going to use SushiSwap to swap some ETH tokens into USDC.E. Therefore, I'm going to swap around 0.003. Remember, guys, this is just a tutorial and it is not, of course, any financial advice, so please take this all with a pinch of salt. I'm very simply trying to maximize as many Hemi points as I can get. However, I think staking is the first most important step on this platform, as it is obviously something they are trying to incentivize users to do, and we can confirm that with the points on the Hemi portal. But once the tokens are swapped, what you want to do is head back over to the portal, give the page a refresh, then you scroll down, and as you can see here, we've now got a wallet balance of $5.88 worth of USDC.E. Once you're ready to stake, you very simply click stake. All you need to do is very simply input an amount, and you'll see that we'll get double points, and all we need to do is very simply stake. Nice and simple, my friends. Boom, staking successful. So once we've done that, guys, that is the first step of staking our assets. If you now head over to the dashboard of the staking, you can see that we've got a balance of $5.88 worth staked. It doesn't tell us how many Hemi points we've earned so far, but this is just the beginning, and that is exactly how to begin your staking journey. What's next, guys? Well, essentially all you want to do is, guys, very simply go over to their blog, of which has the complete guide to their ecosystem, as you can see down here. What you want to do is very simply utilize as many decentralized exchanges as possible. So you can next use Izumi Finance. On Izumi Finance, of course, we've used this on ZK Sync and we've used this on other networks in order to qualify for airdrops. However, they are now live on Hemi, and therefore we are going to switch to the Hemi network, and we are now going to very simply head to the left-hand side, and now we're going to swap. So what we can do is, guys, we can very simply swap into any tokens that we wish. It could be more USDC.E, it could be anything. So let's just say, for example, we just did around 0.002. It's not that much. However, we are very simply stacking up those transactions. Now, alongside the transactions, we want to ensure that we are also stacking up as much volume as possible. And of course, you can see that I haven't done much volume on this network so far. I've literally done only around $10, excluding, of course, the bridging. But on this network, guys, the more transactions and the more volume that you can stack up, whether or not that's on any of the decentralized exchanges, whether or not that's through borrowing and lending or from providing liquidity or playing games, as much as you can do on the Hemi network, the better off you will be and the more points you will earn, and of course the bigger airdrop that you'll receive in the future. So as you can see, we've now swapped on the Izumi Finance platform. We've now also utilized two different platforms in one. We've utilized Izumi Finance and we've utilized SushiSwap. That's two decentralized exchanges, but there are many others such as Dodo, Atlas, Oku, and Parstex. So make sure that you're utilizing as many as you feel comfortable utilizing. Swap as many tokens as you possibly can, as much as you possibly can, until that airdrop goes live. And once you scroll down, guys, you can see that we've got other protocols of which you can utilize. Now, this is the lending section. So for example, if you have USDC.E that you want to lend out for extra yield, you can do so on any of the protocols such as LayerBank, LendOS, ZeroLend, and Ajna. Now, ZeroLend, I believe, has a 1.5x multiplier going on right now, and therefore you can earn more points by utilizing ZeroLend. All you would need to do is head over here, head over to the Hemi network. As you can see, we're going to head over to earn. We're going to select it by chain. We're going to scroll down, select Hemi, and once we've done that, we're going to apply the filter, and here we can see the wide range of different assets that we can supply. So if you supply Ethereum, you'll get an APY of 0.59%, and you'll also get a 1.5x multiplier on your points for providing assets. Entirely up to you. Next step, you would come over here and very simply choose another protocol. After that, guys, you can very simply utilize protocols such as Stargate Finance in order to qualify for the Layer 0 airdrop. So for example, if we head over to Stargate, we can get ourselves another 2-in-1 airdrop. So what we're going to do is we're very simply going to use the same network of which we've been using. I'm going to utilize my USDC.E, and I'm very simply going to transfer it to another network. It could very simply be the base network once again, and I'm very simply going to choose an amount, and boom, you just choose an efficient method of which you want to send over your assets. Absolutely awesome, and this will help you qualify for the Hemi airdrop and the Layer 0 airdrop. Superb. This is another transaction. This is more volume that we're stacking up and another smart contract interaction. Exactly what we need to do in order to qualify for an airdrop. Of course, interact safely and utilize only protocols that you feel comfortable with. But that is very simply how to use cross-chain protocols such as Layer 0, Stargate Finance, and Hemi Network all in one transaction. After that, guys, utilize any of the other platforms you feel comfortable using. Next, you can see we've got the perpetual trading section. So for those who like to perpetually trade with leverage, Artura is the platform for you. However, guys, I am not a perpetual trader whatsoever, and therefore I'm going to skip this one out. You don't have to utilize them all, but the more that you can do and the best ones that are suited for you, the better off you will be for an airdrop. Next, we've got synthetic assets. So this provides an opportunity for exposure to financial instruments that replicate the value and behavior of an underlying asset, whether from the crypto sector or from traditional markets. That could be gold or that could be silver, X, Y, and Z. So there's Metronome, Satoshi Protocol, and Summer Money. Entirely up to you which ones you want to use. Once again, we've got the yield section. So if you want to earn yield, guys, you can do that through Swell earns BTC, BitFi, Bounce, BitVault, DSyn, Echo Protocol, Vaultcraft, and YieldFi to earn yield on your USDC, USDT, your Bitcoin, your ETH, and many other assets. Also, we're going to have another protocol known as Spectra, but scrolling down, we've also got the staking section, which we've already covered, and therefore this is probably one of the most important sectors as you'll find it directly on the Hemi protocol. Also, Going back, you can see that we've got restaking. Now, restaking enables us to restake our staked tokens that we've already staked. So you can restake many liquid staked assets. It's entirely up to you if you want to utilize these platforms. I don't know whether or not it's just restricted to ETH or Bitcoin, but you may be able to restake your USDC.E and so on. You've also got other token support protocols such as Kelp, Bedrock, Pump BTC, XSAT Network, and more. And you've also got infrastructure support, which probably won't be relevant to many. However, guys, you just want to very simply utilize as many different protocols within their ecosystem as you possibly can, whether you're a user or a developer. The more you can use this day in, day out, the better off you will be when the time the airdrop comes. If you can stack up those transactions, the more you can stake, the more you can provide liquidity, and the more that you lend out, the better off you will be when the time the airdrop comes. However, one last thing I want to show you, this may be just a complete optional task. It's entirely up to you, but it may actually multiply your airdrop allocation by having this. Now, this is an NFT collection which is completely over, but this is MintPark Genesis. Genesis is the inaugural collection marking the beginning of the journey to bring EVM efficiency to Bitcoin ordinals. These NFTs embody simplicity and value created specifically for the community as they launch on Hemi. Now, only 4,256 NFTs were minted, guys. However, as you can see, it is already ended, and therefore we can't mint it directly off the launch pad. But for those who want to get their hands on the MintPark Genesis, you can very simply buy it off the open market with a floor price of 0.008 ETH, which is roughly around $15 to $20 depending on when you are watching this video. However, guys, it's entirely up to you, of course, if you want to get this. I'm not saying that this is going to be an airdrop requirement. I'm not saying that this is going to give you a huge multiplier, but there is a strong possibility that there is going to be a huge multiplier for owning one of these NFTs. And therefore, if you want to get your hands on one for a minimum of 0.008 ETH, you can very simply do so. You can just toggle it from low to high and get your hands on one of these NFTs. All you would do is very simply click buy now, and if you wanted to do it, you could get your hands on it. Me personally, guys, I'm going to take a little think. Of course, the floor price might go up by the time I get my hands on it. However, it's something to consider if you want a possible bigger and better airdrop from Hemi. Nonetheless, just focus on their portal, guys. As you can see, you want to move as many assets over to the Hemi network as you possibly can. If you want to get the biggest airdrop, it's entirely up to you. You can utilize their native bridge, or you can utilize both Relay and Gas.zip. And I'm sure there's other protocols of which you can utilize in order to get assets over to Hemi. But very simply, I think the staking section is a very key thing to focus on. As you can see, we've got some staked tokens, of course not that much, but we also want to focus on how many Hemi points that we are earning. Guys, that is very simply the Hemi network. If you want to stay up to date with all of your transactions and volume, you can head over to the Explorer, of which will show you everything you are doing in your network. Once you are here, all you need to do is very simply go up into your wallet, copy your wallet address, go into the search bar and click paste. Once you've done that, you'll be able to take a look at all the transactions that you've conducted within the network. You'll be able to check out everything from which applications and of course how many that you've done in total. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 transactions in total, and this is my first day on the Hemi network. I plan to do around at least 10 to 20 transactions every day until the airdrop goes live, but of course that will all depend on how big of an airdrop I want to receive. But friends, we hope you've enjoyed this video. We've got many airdrops coming to our YouTube channel, so stay tuned for more, and we already have many airdrop tutorials that you can watch on our YouTube channel. There are free airdrops and there are many other airdrops of which you can utilize, and we hope that at least one of them is going to be a 5-figure airdrop. Guys, if you have any airdrop requests whatsoever that you want us to cover, let us know in the comment section down below. If you have any other crypto content you want us to cover, let us know in the comment section down below. We appreciate every single one of you, and if you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button because it really shows support on our channel. Guys, we can't wait to see you in the next video.